Good morning. How we doing today? Do you want to see a picture of me too? I guess I could turn that on. There, now you got a picture of me. Some of you don't know what I look like, so I figured. All right, so you should have our slide on the screen and get started here. And I mean, we might have some stragglers come in, but just wanted to welcome you this morning. Uh, this month's webinar is on a little bit more work from home and some of the cybersecurity and tips and tricks for your home. In fact, one of the sheets that we have that we're going to share with you are tips for working from home that you can actually share and give to your employees, um, as well as for your own use, but you can share with and kind of, it's from our association, CompTIA, and it's a nice little reminder of things to consider from work from home. So we will have questions and answer, so please don't hesitate to ask. You can put them in either the Q&A screen or the chat screen, whatever you're more comfortable with. We are recording this, so if you have to drop off, we're happy to send you a copy of it as well as the presentation and any of the other documentation. So just ask, we're happy to share, and we'll also eventually post it up on uh, YouTube for you. So we're going to talk about work from home. Everyone's been doing it now for a while. We're kind of all getting used to it, but I don't want complacency to slip into our being working from home. I mean, it's not going away. Um, I saw an interesting article that mentioned that if you ask employees, a lot of them are um, actually wanting to continue the combination of work from home and going to into the office into the future, even if after COVID gets controlled. Obviously, we're going through another resurge of this. It's crazy, but a lot of people are getting comfortable with this, and it's actually improved people's work-life balance in some cases, and people aren't willing to give it up. So we're going to go through my presentation again. I try to cover all audiences, so there's non-technical and technical. So please don't hesitate to ask questions. I try not to get too technical, but we do have an audience, a mixed audience of skill sets. So who am I? If you're new to us and you haven't been on any of our webinars before, I've been in the industry over 35 years. Right from the get-go, kind of started getting into computers in high school when the PC didn't even exist yet. I think we used Tandy trash 80s, um, but went to RIT. So I'm a product of RIT in Rochester, um, and basically have done everything in IT, from PCs to networks and servers to when I worked for Spur Univac dealing with mainframes. So I've had good exposure to all that and grew up with the internet. For a lot of you, I got involved early in on the internet, so I got exposed pretty early, even before they called it the internet. I was working with digital and Xerox on XNS, Xerox Networking Services, which was the precursor of uh, the internet protocol and some of the things that we're doing there, at the same time getting exposed to DARPANET and all that kind of cool stuff. So I love this stuff. I live and breathe technology, all of it. So any questions you have about any technology, I'm here to help. Um, so today, I've got little checklists. I'm going to it's funny, I have 8 things, and I guess 8 and 8 turns into 16 slides pretty quick. So, and then I just wanted to throw out our JSI Guardian at the end. That's my only sales pitch. We've actually started it up prior to COVID, prior to this big thrust for work from home. And it's been actually a godsend that we got involved early, because we've really helped a lot of people figure out how to support work from home. And so we'll talk about our JSI Guardian at the end. one slide, so I'm not going to bore you on that. Remote tip number one: working remotely. Um, some people don't know what this means. A VPN. If you're not sure, VPN. If you're working um, to your office, there's a very good chance your company has set up a VPN, a virtual private network, which is a secure connection between your home computer and the office. We'll talk about some of the pitfalls with the VPN, but that's one way they can protect you. The other way is using a security filtering service that actually will monitor your your web traffic and prevent you from getting to the wrong site or to a bad site, kind of verifying your web connectivity. That's another way of doing it. So it doesn't always have to be a VPN, um, but that is considered the most secure method of doing it. So most people are using a VPN. So that's the first thing on the tip list. Don't use a computer in the house where others may see a screen. I know this is kind of interesting, but um, because of even though they're your family members, it it it's not appropriate and it's considered breach when someone who is not authorized can see data. And you may say you're really splitting hairs, but not according to the law. So if you're dealing with medical, personal information, whatever, you should be making sure that no one can look over your shoulder, not your spouse, not relative, not kids, whatever. None of that information should be shared. So you do want to make sure it's in a private area or no one can see the screen. You don't want to be accessing any critical medical or business systems from a home computer. Um, why? Your home computer is, if it's really truly your home machine, um, company doesn't have any control over it. It's your own personal device, and uh, now you're potentially creating a weak point or an exposure point for this information because your home computer isn't as secure as your business a business computer. If you have a business computer and a home computer, make sure you use them separately. Use the business for work and the home for the surfing. Don't intermix. Even though that may be a little inconvenient for you at times, it still doesn't matter. Don't be using, if you can, have separate computers. I use an iPad for personal activities, and then I have my business computer, which is connected via VPN that I do my work. But I'm not going to be doing surfing or playing games on the work computer. I keep them separate. Don't print documents. This is kind of interesting. This is a recommendation: is not printing at home. Um, and then you have nothing to worry about, or leaving something around. It says just don't do it, is kind of the general recommendation. Um, don't throw it away if you do print it. Get a little shredder. Staples office, any of those places sell those small little personal shredders. Um, and you should shred stuff. Just like we kind of take it for granted in the office because we have shredder bins, or the company, recycles and shreds and things of that sort. But now that you're working from home, what are you doing? So, shred your credit card statements, shred any of your work information. Having a home personal shredder is a great idea. And by the way, don't get the kind that are strips. You want the cross shredding that really turns it into a confetti. That's what you want. Strips can easily be taped back together. That's not a hard thing to do. But if you get the kind that does the cross and turns it into confetti, um, yeah, can it be reassembled? But that it's not likely anyone's going to care to do it with our stuff. Uh, don't fall for email scams. This is kind of, you just wonder, how does it keep happening? It's because people do fall for it. Some of the stuff seems so legitimate. Verifying account information because you just bought something on Amazon, but it really isn't Amazon that's asking you. verifying shipping information. Well, because we are buying and shipping things at home. So a lot of these scams that were kind of were, were easily determined to be a scam aren't so easy now that we are actually home and we are using Amazon or we are using UPS or FedEx and we are getting deliveries. So it becomes a problematic that these people or scammers are doing this stuff because they figure it seems legit. And people are getting calls from Amazon that aren't Amazon. They're falling for it. They're being told, and the reason more the trickery is working is because so many people are work from home. So you got to be even more vigilant with this stuff. Uh, Hang up, call back. And don't call the number they give you. Don't call the caller ID they called you. Actually, that's if you call that number, a lot of times it won't even answer, and you'll end up knowing it's a scam. But if you think you might have ordered something legitimately, then and maybe there's a question with your order or your credit card for processing the order, call the company direct. Go directly to their website. Don't click off any link. Don't follow up on any call you got. Um, oh, I got a duplicate in here. Um, Sorry about that. When you get the hard copy, you'll figure out where I made my dupe. Cutting and pasting, sorry, but yeah, key logging is a real problem. People don't realize it, but there's little programs. I have it. I mean, I did the ethical hacking, and so we have those tools. But I can put a little program on there that actually tracks all your keystrokes. I can go back and replay your passwords. So if your home computer was compromised and they're using a keylogger, they're capturing that information and sending it off to their server and getting it, and then they're able to log into your account. So you might say, how do you prevent that stuff? Well, that's what the whole idea behind the encryption, the secure connection. There's our personal VPNs, but recently a bunch of them were NordVPN, and some of them were hacked. I use PIA, which is private internet access, PIA VPN. Um, that's a good personal one. I use to pay. I don't use any of the free ones. I don't use free software because what you got to realize is it's free for a reason. You're giving them permission to have your personal private information and share it to marketing people and all that kind of stuff. So free is not free. I'm telling you, if you use a free program, you when you hit the accept the terms and conditions, you gave them permission to spam you. So use the paid versions, which eliminate that kind of stuff. Uh, Log off when you walk away from a computer. I put the Windows key on here just because I know it and I use it all the time. The Windows logo and the L locks your computer. If you do it right now, you'll be knocked out of the presentation, have to log back in. Um, but I don't know what the keystroke is on Mac, but there is an equivalent one on the Mac. You walk away from a computer, lock the screen. It's a great idea regardless. It's a good habit to be in. Those are 8 really simple tips, 7 and a blank one, which you'll have to get the PDF to figure out which one I put in there twice. Sorry. All right. Let's talk about the next section of it, which is a little bit more technical. And these are like my checklists that I have for you. I have a work from home checklist to share. Again, we can email to you. And I'm kind of going through this checklist. You can have the hard copy, but I'm going through the checklist on the screen here in the slides, but we'll also be able to happy to send you the PDF. First thing you should do is check your office internet speed. If you're the IT guy, check it. If you can afford to increase the speed, increase it because it helps your work from home productivity. So maybe when you're in the office, you don't need it as much, but now that you're working from home, that interaction back and forth to the office and amongst users, whether it's even uh, Zoom meetings or chats or whatever, having a faster internet connection is a good thing. I just saw a special, and they're not my favorite provider, but I just saw a promotion from Frontier for a gigabit fiber for $1,000 a month, and I'm like, wow, that is amazing speed. Um, Obviously, Frontier's being super aggressive, but would Would I say that that would be bad service? No, for the price and for the money, that's awesome. $1,000 for a gigabit from Frontier, if they can bring fiber to you, is awesome. We're not talking about their crappy dial-up or DSL or any of that stuff. We're talking about fiber. They know how to do fiber. They're the fiber backbone for a lot of other companies. So um, not necessarily a terrible investment, and the SLA on that is pretty good. It's a 4-hour response. So if you can get fiber and you can boost your performance, that's going to help your people working from home. So that's kind of the technical thing for your IT people and for the owners. Increase your performance at the office. It's going to help your work from home people. We pay for a 200 meg connection. You see what we're getting. That's actually a speed test off of our system. We're paying for a 200 meg fiber. Notice the up speed. My up speed is looks faster than my download, probably because when I ran this test, people are busy using it, right? People are on the internet doing things. But that's pretty darn good. That up speed is the key number for the people working from home. So they're trying to access information from your office. It's the up speed that matters to them. Use of personal work computer. This is the big question. Um, I think it should be different machines. I think if your company can supply you with them, and that's great. If they can't, then I would try to use just one machine for work and one machine for home. Don't let your kids use the same computer you use for work. I would really separate the two. And then, is it Windows Home or Windows Pro? You don't need to have Windows Home. If it's your own personal computer, you can have Home. If it's a company supply computer, they need Pro because that's the only way they can do the administration of it. If we're gonna if we're gonna manage your computer remotely, I want it to be a professional version of Windows, not the home version. Um, Home version is crippled. It doesn't have certain features and functionality where the business version or the professional version does. Does that mean you can't use a home system? Absolutely, you can use a home system. It just means your corporate can't manage it. Um, and then it's really up to you to make sure you protect that home computer with proper security and applications. So, uh, good question. Which one to use? I think it's worth having separation here. Firewall VPN setup. This is kind of technical thing for the corporate office, but I am running into more and more businesses that are getting faster internet service at their office and then realizing that their firewall can't handle it. Very common problem. Even some home users are starting to run into this now that they have the kids doing remote school, they're working from home, their spouse is working from home, plus they got the Netflix and the TV and all this stuff. All of a sudden their internet connection that is being really bogged down, and we're finding that a lot of people's home routers, home equipment aren't good enough, fast enough to handle the faster internet connections from Spectrum. And if you're lucky enough to get green light, to, with green light. But the VPN setup, it's important for the company, and then to set you up. You don't have to. I've run into a recent situation where some people were thinking they have to buy a Sonic wall or a VPN unit for the home to connect to the office. No, they actually have software that can be run on the PC. It's a VPN client or SSL client. I know this is technical for some of you, but there are ways to do that. Just ask. We'll be happy to look at your particular situation and your setup at your office. And I'm sure there's a way you can support your users remotely securely with a VPN. Um, do not try to run programs directly over the network from the VPN. Like if you're trying to do a CAD program, install the CAD program locally and then pull the file down from the corporate server and work on it, check it out, work on it locally, and then put it back. Trying to work over the VPN is just going to be way too slow. That you're just not going to have a good experience, and there's a very good chance you'll have some file corruption or other issues. Do not try to run QuickBooks remotely. Make sure you're running it locally, remoting in to the server or the workstation at the office and running it there, or running it locally, but not over that connection. Uh, And the VPN is great for printing. If you want to print securely to your office computer, you can do that. Almost every copier and printer these days has secure print. You may not have been using it, but what that means is you can print to the copier and add a PIN code so it doesn't sit in the printer tray for anyone to look at. When you walk up to the copier, you can put in your code and then it finishes printing it based on secure print. So secure print is pretty much built into all units. I know all the Xerox we sell has it, but very good chance your office computer or printer has that feature. And the benefit is you could print something from home to that unit. When you walk up to it, put in your code and get your documents out. It's not sitting in the tray for anyone to look at. Application requirements. This gets very specific. I'd rather do this on a one-on-one basis, but we can look at whether or not maybe it's time to move your application to the cloud. Maybe it'd be better not to have people trying to run your application in the office. Maybe it'd be better to run the application in the cloud and you eliminate one leg of the trip. If you think of it this way, if it's you to the cloud from your home versus you to the cloud back down to your office, you eliminate that whole leg of the trip for running the application in the cloud. So there could be some huge performance gains by running your application in Azure or AWS versus running it on your server in your office. So something to consider and something we can help you determine. But running apps over the internet does not work well. Um, and what do I mean? When I talk about remote desktop or remote or RDP or any of those things, we're just sending the screen updates and the keyboard traffic, mouse traffic back and forth. We're not actually running the program over the internet connection. So screen updates, that's perfectly acceptable and runs nicely. I've even seen CAD run pretty nicely in the cloud because all they're sending to you on your desktop is the updates, and meanwhile all the graphics processing is done on the servers in the cloud, and that's very efficient. So it doesn't have to be an inefficient approach, but when you eliminate that extra jump from the cloud back to your office and from your office back to the cloud, that extra round trip, and you're just going from your workstation at home to the cloud, you can actually see some performance gains. So it may be worth reviewing your application requirements and maybe making some adjustments there. Phone system options. Don't overlook this. A lot of people put this off because we all thought this was going to be temporary. 9 months later, we're still in the middle of this crazy work from home and COVID environment. So it may be time to revisit your phone system. It may be time to revisit virtual faxing, mobile app for your phone. The benefit of the hosted internet or the hybrid approach using the hybrid system is you can have a mobile app that hides your personal phone number. So your employees aren't giving out cell phone numbers. Their caller ID is your company phone number. The voicemail is the company voicemail. The call recording is company call recording. Your call logging and activity logging is all done via the company. So there's a lot of benefits, a lot of analytics. You don't know what people are doing from home. Your cloud system can give you a lot of call analytics and know how many calls people are making, what people are doing. Big Brother, yes, but how else do you manage a remote force? You need to have tools like this to be able to do it. Whether you use them or not, it's always nice to know that you're able to and that you have the tracking and the call logging and the activities to see. Um, Companies can use logging into your phone as a way for attendance checking. You can actually log into your phone and record that activity, and it becomes an attendance check for remote workers. Uh, Again, we're dealing with a whole new dynamic. I'm not trying to profess that how your company's policies and procedures are. I'm just saying your phone system can be another tool to help you in this environment. Um, Transferring calls seamlessly to customers is great. Uh, Kind of eliminating that delay and the extra ringing is kind of cool that the system can find you, follow you on your mobile phone, wherever you are. Um, that way, if you are dealing with personal things, you're still not basically you're still accessible to your coworkers, to your clients, that type of thing. So look at your phone system and see what you might be able to do there. Virtual fax is great. I mean, you can completely eliminate the fax line in the office, go virtual, port the phone number to the cloud, and do virtual faxing from your desktops. Get your faxes via your email. You name it. You can kind of completely eliminate, eliminate that needing to be, is someone in the office getting the faxes. Home internet speed. Now, I talked about your work speed. Check out your home speed. You should be getting at least 100. If you're not, call up Time Warner and complain. We were all supposed to be moved to 100 and then I think 200 at some point, all because of the Attorney General lawsuit with Spectrum Charter, Time Warner, and we should all be getting faster speeds. So check your speed, make sure you're getting it. If you're not, and they claim that you are, then it may be your firewall at home. It may be your little home router that's preventing you from getting the speed. We have a great new product we're promoting called the Dream Machine, which is a home product, router, firewall, switch, security gateway all in one. Um, I was paying for Ultra from Spectrum. I was supposed to get 400 meg with Ultra, never getting it. And I was getting maybe 200, and that even was a stretch. Got my new Dream Machine, plugged it in at home. I'm getting 440 download, and I'm getting the full upload I'm supposed to get. So my Netgear, which was not that old, my Nighthawk Netgear, which wasn't cheap and was not that old, was not giving me the throughput. Went to the newer Dream Machine, which can support even green light, and was getting a much better speed. So Greenlight has a list of approved units, and this one's not on it yet because it's probably too new. But there's a reason for the approved list if you are lucky enough to get Greenlight. The other thing you can do is use a MiFi cellular service. So if you're not getting very good internet speeds from your DSL or Spectrum, maybe because you're on the fringe of their system or their network, if you got good cellular signal, get a little MiFi, which is a personal um, access point, and it's good, it's secure, and maybe that's a good way for you to connect over the cellular network. As 5G gets better, I can promise you MiFi's will be a great way to go. So if you can get a good cell signal, that's always something to consider. Limit home printing. Was in that other cyber tips that we got from CompTIA. I list that again, but I also mentioned that you can send things encrypted and securely that way. Um, and you can also print remotely and to your office machine and use secure print. But printing is not secure. Printing, when that traffic is going back and forth, it's typically unsecure and plain text. So be very careful about what you print, and even printing from the home office to home. If you're not going over VPN, that data could be captured. File sharing sites. I've had people ask me and I did a tech tip and I got a lot of responses from the tech tip when I said if you're using Dropbox or G Drive or you may be exposing it, they're not compliant. Well, because the free ones aren't. The free services are not compliant. Just don't even go there. Don't even think you should. You need to pay for OneDrive for Business, Dropbox for Business, or the G Suite. The paid versions are providing you better security. So don't use any of the free services. Free means free information to them. Stay away from it. If you're not doing encrypted, learn to start using encrypted, whether you're using a bracket service, um, secure colon feature in Office. As you turn on these features, sending attachments. By the way, a company can even create a policy where if something is an attachment, it can automatically be encrypted. So companies could look at enforcing a policy for attachments automatically getting encrypted. Is it a pain in the ass? Sure, it is. I hate people complain. I got to log in to get my attachment. Well, that's how it works. You got to log into the 365 account, or you got to log into Google, or you got to log in Barracuda. It doesn't matter what the service is, but when you're adding this level of protection, this is what happens. Security is an inconvenience. I'm not going to apologize for it. But yeah, sending attachments um, is going to become more problematic. But What's the alternative? Your attachments are your number one source of problems. So knowing that, take the extra precaution and make sure that you're not opening attachments that didn't come from a secure site or from someone that you know, or you weren't expecting it. Did you really send me this? I have people question us all the time. Did you really send me this email? Yes. Okay. That doesn't offend me. Yeah, I sent you the email. It's okay. You can open it. That's important. I just sent a request to my bank for wiring I'm buying some cool LED lights and I'm ordering them from no place else but China. And I had to wire them the money. Well, I'm asking my bank to wire money. Do you think it's a good idea that my bank verified that it was me asking for the wire? Sure, it's $800, but I'm glad the bank has a procedure in place. Not only did they talk to me and I signed DocuSign, they called and verified by the phone to make sure it really was me. I like that. That's why I use CNB Bank. They're a great local bank. They verified to make sure that it was truly me doing that wiring. How can we help? We can help by talking to you about our Guardian service. We've sold over 100 of them since, or signed up over 100 people for this since we uh, got going with this COVID, and it's protecting the home computer. So the idea here is we're already protecting a lot of people's businesses computers, um, work computers. This protects your home computer. This puts backup program on there. It puts more than just antivirus. We got a whole suite of programs we put on your machine to protect it. We patch it, we update it, and you can get free phone support for your home computer when you've got a question or problem, or if you get something suspicious you're not sure about, we have the ability of supporting you. So this has been really popular. It's not really expensive, but ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And I'm telling you, if you're looking to prevent having issues, we have found Guardian to be the way to go for work from home and our residential customers, commercial customers, Soho, small business, you name it. Like I said, we've been doing really well for this, and we've been getting a lot of kudos from our customers saying this is great. Um, you don't need a home service call. You don't need a Geek Squad to come to your house. What you need is the remote help, the help desk. If you get something you're not sure about, you can call our techs and they can look at what you're looking at and help verify whether it's legit. If you think you got something that could have been bad, we can check things. But this is us watching your back and having your back. Um, and I have customers literally. We did a company in Arizona, 20 of them. We for all their field people that are using laptops work from home now. We've been adding it all over the place for a lot of different businesses. So something to think about. You can offer it to your employees. We can work out a program if it's something you're going to pay for or not pay for. If it's from their home computer, maybe they need to pay for it. That's your decision as a company, but it is a really trying to bring that level of security to the home computer that we're doing for businesses. Nothing's foolproof, nothing's perfect, but you want to. I always say it's I don't got to outrun the bear. I just got to outrun you. Um, so we want to reduce your footprint. We want to reduce you as a target, and make sure that you're not a victim. Um, Let it be your neighbor or your competitor that gets victimized, and you kind of survive this thing. Yes, the slides are available. Just shoot us an email. We'll make sure Allison, Alyssa, Kylie, our marketing team sends you out the checklists. We have the checklists for you, and we can send you the PDF of the presentation. We're welcome to share that. We'll also, if you'd like, we will put the link back on our website under seminars for the presentation to have other people watch this at a later time. But we have these checklists for you. We have the tips for the work at home, and then we also have the security, which some of those kind of go into more of a business, what your business has to do for you to help the work from home. Um, and as always, we're available for consultation to help with this. I'm happy to talk about your specific situations. Um, I'm kind of unusual that I don't like to charge for those consultations just because, you know, uh, I don't know, that's just kind of building my value offer to you. So if you'd like me to discuss anything related to your business or your particular situation, just ask. I'm happy to help. Um, so I hope you found that to be useful information, and open it up to any questions. I already answered one question. Yes, we'll send you the slides for the webinar. We're happy to share that to everyone. And any other questions, open it up right now. So you can put them in the question and answer or the chat window. Um, if anyone has anything else? Bueller, Bueller. We used to have a Bueller. Um, well, thank you everyone for joining. If you think of something later that I missed, or you want me to explain something a little bit more in depth, I'm happy to. If you want me to look at your current specific situation for your business or your home situation, look at your home setup, your home router, kind of give you any advice like that. We're happy to help. Um, but I hope you found this presentation webinar to be useful, and have a great rest of the week, and happy holidays. Thank you.